from 15 different countries. Started his career with global consulting firms like TCS and KPMG, and later followed into entrepreneurship, mainly catering to startups and SMBs. He has already mentored 10,000 plus students and working professionals through training programs in digital marketing and product management at Simply Learn and Great Learning. Currently, he works as a fractional CMO for few consumer and technology brands. Welcome, Vivek, and thank you so much for joining us for this program. And
Thank you, Avneet, and the pleasure is mine. It's always good to connect with people who are willing to learn, and
absolutely.
I'm someone who is very easy to reach out. So you can, even after this session is over, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn, and you can say hi, and you can tell me about what exactly are your career goals, aspirations, whatever. So yeah, I mean, feel free to reach out to me even after the session. Yeah.
Thanks, Vivek. That's a great start. Giving a comfort to the candidates and telling them that yes, you are available. Thank you very much, Vivek. And over to you.
Yeah.
And let's
Thank
begin today's session.
thank you.
Uh,
So,
uh,
yeah,
one
sorry.
minute. Sorry, Vivek. I'm so very
Mhm.
sorry. Two iPhones is what I can see, ladies. You can please tell us your name or write in the chat box so that we know your names. We will help you update your names, right? So you can just unmute and let us know your names, or you can write it in the chat box, WhatsApp group, or in the chat box, whatever suits you. Thank you so much. Please, Vivek, over to you.
Yeah, right. All right. So I think, Avneet has already given me, given my introduction to you. And I would like to quickly get little bit from your end, probably in the chat window, you can type down your introduction, all of you, so that I know that, what kind of audience I'm talking to, right? And another very important thing, before we start with this session, I would like to hear your version of what you think about creative content. Since we are trying to understand the creative content, I would like to see where you stand, what you perceive of this, before I start talking about this, because this is going to be an interactive session. It's not like a completely PowerPoint driven kind of presentation. I'm going to make sure that, you get plenty of examples, all these real examples, right? And that you can replicate in your day-to-day work. Yeah. So maybe a few of you can come forward and talk about what's your understanding of the creative content before I start this.
To my understanding, creative content is like there is nothing new to create actually.
Hmm.
How we represent the existing thing in a new way.
Hmm.
So, is this forum is for representing or finding out the ways to represent the existing things or existing content, something like that.
Okay. What else? Anyone else has some other ideas?
Hello, my name is I'm a
Yes.
.NET developer. What I'm thinking creative content is like we are representing the some through the ads we are approaching the customers through our creatively we are approaching the customer. That content
Okay.
we will create through any advertisements or anything like posters, that kind of thing. I'm thinking.
Okay. Anything else?
Vivek,
Yeah,
hi.
hi.
Lavanya
Hi.
here.
Yeah. Hi.
Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So actually, as per my so perception is long-term relationship with customers.
Mm-hmm.
So
So long-term relationship. Okay. Fine. I mean, it's a way of establishing connection with your audience, who seek some kind of creative content for that long-term relationship. That's what you meant?
yeah,
All right.
Yeah, hi, Akanksha this side.
Yeah, yeah, Kanksha.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon. So for me, creative content is related to with the uniqueness of the topic, uniqueness of defining that topic in your own way, and uh, creativity is something which comes with some ideology, which comes in with a unique idea. So for me, creative content is something which is unique as per your and as per your understanding and as per your vision in your vision in your idea or vision in your mind. So for me, creative content is this.
Okay. All right.
Hi, Vivek. Lavanya here.
Yeah, hi, Lavanya. Yes.
I think I agree with what Akanksha said. And further to it, each of us can have a different niche. And if at all we are looking to let the world know about what services or products we are offering, then we put it across in such a way in term, maybe in a video format or in static images format, anything that can reach to the audience so they know what we are offering. That, according to me, is creative content.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. So I think, you have shared good enough ideas to start the session, and I'll take it forward. Thanks all for participation. Okay. So, yeah,
Hi, Vivek.
hi.
Reena here. So for
Yes, sir.
me,
Mm-hmm.
am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Please go ahead,
Yeah.
Reena.
So for me, creative writing, if I said in two lines, that it is the path between your goal and your result. How you convert your goal into a result. That is a link that where creative writing helps.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for me,
So yeah, so for you, you're basically talking about only the creative writing part, while this session is a little more than the writing itself. So when we say content, it's actually a mix of written content and the visual or the audio visual kind of content also that we're going to talk about. Okay, yeah, but yeah, I mean, you have a fair point, by the way.
thank you.
All right, so okay, so let's begin with the session. So this is the agenda for today's session. So I'm going to start with a brief discussion about what are the different forms of creative content, right? And when I say different forms of creative content, I have not tried to create this only on the basis of the forms of content, for example, videos and let's say blogs and all. I'm also looking at the overall application of the content. So you might find something over there and you might find something missing as well, okay? Because the focus is more on the creative content. So I have left out some of the content formats which might not fit into the criteria of creative content, okay? And I'm trying to focus only on the creative content. So when you see that in the overall scheme of things, especially with respect to the content marketing, so some of you might find a lot of things missing out from there because they might not fit into the creative content context. Okay, right? So that's the first thing that we're going to start with. The second thing would be I'll talk about marketing channels and content mix. So I know a lot of people these days uh, they prefer certain channels, for example, Instagram and maybe YouTube for that matter. Okay, but as a marketer, as a creative content creator, I'm sure that everyone has their own strength. Like some of you might be very good at, let's say, making reels and short videos, and some of you might be very good at some writing, like Arena mentioned about creative writing. So she might be very good at the writing part, and she'll probably stick to what is more of a written content, or maybe something which involves, let's say, a storytelling kind of thing, right? So each one of you might have different kind of strength. And the thing is, marketing channels are, there are so many marketing channels and they're so diverse and different from each other. So one content might not fit all the channels. So we need to figure out the best combination between the channels and the content mix. Okay. The third thing that I'm going to talk about is the audience in the channel persona. Okay. Now, obviously, you cannot treat LinkedIn and LinkedIn as a channel and also the audience which exists on LinkedIn as the same who is there on Instagram. It might be possible that I am the same person who is using Instagram and LinkedIn both, but the way I'm using LinkedIn is very different from how I use or prefer to use Instagram, right? So my content preferences, the overall behavior for me would change drastically from one channel to another. So it's very important for you to know that how to ensure that you are on the right channel, you are serving the right channel, you can say content for that particular channel, and based on what the audience is looking for. Okay. Then we will give you some examples, like I'll walk you through some practical examples. I'll show you some of the steps online. It will be like a direct, demonstration of the content. And we'll talk about some of the best examples, maybe some of the worst examples too, right? And then eventually we will talk about a small assignment, and finally the door will be open for Q&As. Having said that, you can stop me anytime in between. Feel free to interrupt me. Probably at the end of one slide would be better, and then you can ask relevant questions, especially in the context of that particular slide or the topic that we are having a discussion about, right? And yeah, so that's how we are going to drive this session. So shall we begin then? All right. Sorry. So the change of weather and also it's affecting my throat. So you know, just try to bear with me. So, all right. So I'm going to
No
talk about,
worries.
yeah. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the different types of creating content. So, uh, like a lot of people might agree or might not agree, but I would say blogging as a content format, it's still a creative content. Okay. No, why is that creative content? Because blogging is not, or like a lot of people get confused that blogging is more like an article, but there's a boundary between, how the article begins and ends and how the blogging would take over, right? So blogging always is a way to express your opinions, your thoughts, and probably in a much more detailed manner. Now, these opinions and these thoughts can come up in any way, like it can be an abstract thought, it could be, like, say, a very creative way of representing your thoughts, your ideas, right? So, for example, let's say you want to talk about making an ice cream. Okay. Now you can write a blog about how to create, how to make an ice cream. But at the same time, the blog doesn't need to be only informative, right? So you don't only need to put the details such as what are the ingredients required to make that ice cream, and what is the process, for example, how much time you need to spend on each of the process. And so these are all technical details. Okay. But a storyteller would probably make it in a better way. For example, maybe I'll start, okay, with something, with an idea that, okay, how there's so much of heat wave, and you need reasons to beat the summer, right? And you have some your own ideas how to beat the summer and so on, right? So you kind of try to excite or entice the thoughts of having an ice cream for your audience. Okay. And then you present very creative and unique ways to showcase the different processes. Maybe you try to make it more conversational. So it's up to you, how, what kind of tone, what kind of intention do you have while explaining that topic or sharing your thoughts through the help of blogging. Okay. So blogging, yes, is the one of the most fundamental formats of content on internet since the day it started. And it still is very powerful, by the way. Okay. And so that's the first format. Now, microblogs is something that you see is becoming more common these days, because maybe a lot of people, they don't prefer to write lengthy blogs. Okay. And a lot of people don't even prefer to read lengthy blogs. Okay. So I believe that if someone is reading a blog, that person is surely very passionate about that particular topic, because he wants to get into the details and the nuances. And that's why probably is, that person is getting to the reading part. Okay. Now, microblogs are basically the shorter formats of blogs. And I would say these are like snippets. Okay. So the best example would be Twitter. Okay, so Twitter is known as a microblogging platform. Okay, and in Twitter, you have some limitations, let's say 140 or 280 characters, then you can write something, and then you can create some threads around that. There's a series of tweets going on. So that's like a microblogging. Okay, so you don't want to share everything in one go, but maybe you start an idea and then you start sharing your thoughts, and you also let other share their thoughts on that particular blog, which is basically a microblog. Okay, so that's the second format. The third format is very wide, in fact. So when we say visual content, so it can have almost everything and anything. Okay. So apart from written content, I would say most of the content is actually a visual content. Okay. But how I have tried to categorize over here is I'm trying to refer to the static and little bit of dynamic content in the visual content format, like images. So if you need a social media post, you're going to create a static image post for that, or an infographics for that matter. So infographics, I'll show you the examples in a while. Okay, so I'll show you all the examples, by the way. Okay, so the infographics are basically the formats which represent a mix of information as well as the visuals. Okay, now visuals could be anything. It could be the representation of, let's say, a graph. It could be like the representation of an idea, like you can show the image of a person, and then you can talk about, maybe you are trying to compare the gender ratio in the workforce. So you can create an infographics depicting both the genders, and then quoting some numbers over there, and then some sharing some information. So that becomes a mix of information and the visual graphics over there. That's why it's called as infographics. Okay. I think the fourth category is the most popular one these days. So I believe, or I expect, a lot of you might be very active, or at least as a consumer of the content, if not creating them, but at least as a consumer of the content for the short format of videos, which is basically, if you talk about Instagram, it's going to be Reels, and in YouTube we call them Shorts, and so on. Other platforms are having their own nomenclature for that. Okay. No, short videos are basically a way of, demonstrating things. Now, this can be of any type. Most of the time we find that these short videos, uh, these are basically meant for entertainment. So that's the one of the primary goals that I've seen for most of the short videos. Second could be it's also about education. So it's not just the education as in we are teaching some maths or science only, but it could be about educating anything to our audience. It could include like how to create a certain recipe, or how to probably stitch a cloth, or it could be anything, for that matter. Maybe, you watch a makeup content and so on. So all of these are examples of, how short content can create that excitement. And
Yeah.
normally, short content also means that you're basically driving an idea. Okay. Now, you want to present an idea of, how a certain kind of makeup can look on a certain person. Okay. And then you take help of the long videos to demonstrate in details about how they can take it forward, right? So while I'm talking about all these different types of creative content, okay, one idea that I would like you to have within yourself is, or rather develop within yourself, is how to repurpose different kind of content. Okay. Now, as a content creator, you would be always under the pressure of creating more and more content, once you start this journey. Okay. Now, when you do that, so the obvious question would be whether Instagram is the only channel, or the Reels and the Shorts are the only formats that you're going to cater to. Maybe the answer could be yes or no. Maybe you want to reach out to a bigger audience, and you want to manage both your YouTube account as well as Instagram account, right? No, you won't like to repeat the same thing, just because each of these channels demand different kind of videos or content formats rather, right? So if YouTube has short and long content, so you might be thinking, and then again, your Instagram also has that, but probably in a very different resolution, size, timing, etc. So one of the ideas could be, how about creating a primary content? Like, let's say I create a long video, and then I break down this long video into maybe 5 or 10 short videos. Okay. So that way you're able to repurpose your content and recycle it, I would say, reuse it in different way. And Sorry.
Yeah, hello,
Yeah.
Vivek. I just want to understand a bit more
Mm,
about the blogging and microblogging. You
mhm,
mentioned related to the blogging part.
mhm,
Um, is not just related to the article, it's just more above than article. So I
mhm,
also have one blog, but I don't know how to monetize that. So
mhm.
do you have some you are also covering the monetization part of that or not?
Yes, so we have structured this entire program into three different sessions. So today I'm going to talk about, as I mentioned, this is the agenda. I'll just go
Mm-hmm.
back to the agenda, right? So these are the
Mm-hmm.
things that we're going to discuss today.
Okay.
Then in the next session, we are actually going to create some of these content. I will show the live demonstration of how to create those kind of content online
Okay.
with the help of some tools, platforms, and how to do some keyword
Okay.
research, hashtags, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the third session is where we'll talk about how to monetize it, how to look at the ways to scale your channel and grow your channel.
Nice.
And
Okay. Okay.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you
yeah,
so much. Yeah. Sorry, it's such a
yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah. Right. So yeah, I mean, so it's very important, and I'll probably make it very clear to you once we progress through the session that how to do that. I'll also give you a plan and template to keep doing that. Okay. Because for the content creators and even for the brands, it's a lot of pressure because with so many channels around, it's very difficult for them to attract audience on each and every channel. Okay. And if you're able to do that successfully, let's say for even for a couple of channels or maybe three, four of them consistently without putting too much of additional effort, so nothing like that, right? So that's something which you should start considering from the day one as part of your content strategy or the way you're going to manage your channels for that matter. Okay, right. Now, another example would be, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people who have a successful YouTube channel, they also run successful podcasting channels for that matter. Okay. And the reason they do it is because it's very easy for them to extract the audio content from their long videos. For example, let's say I conduct an interview with one of the founders of the startups, right? And we have an interview video that goes on, and it's a recorded for YouTube and Facebook and other platforms, right? Now, for me, it's very easy to create that into a podcast, and then I can publish it on Apple, Spotify, wherever I want to do that. Okay. So you also have to be a little smart about, how you're going to reuse this content and in which particular way. Okay, whether you're going to use it directly or maybe uh, change the format or do some modification, modulation, etc. Okay, right. The next form of content is something which is becoming even more popular. So I will prefer to call it as interactive content. Okay. Now, what exactly is interactive content? It's basically a way to allow people to engage within your content itself. So I'm sure that you might have seen that a lot of Instagrammers and YouTubers, they ask you certain things in their reels or the shorts, right? And then they ask you for your opinion, like answers. Maybe sometimes they ask you to enter one word answer to that. Maybe sometimes they ask you to select yes or no. So all these kind of polling questions and Q&As kind of thing, these are all interactive content. So this will basically mean that people really care about your content. If they like your content, they would definitely like to interact with you. Okay. And as you might have heard or read somewhere, that most of the channels or the platforms that we're talking about, whether it's Instagram or YouTube, uh, they take engagement as one of the most important factor for the channel growth, right? So if you have more engaging content, people engage with your content, so there will be a growth and the spike in your channel, whether it's views or the following growth and whatever it is, right? So it's very important, and interactive content is something which is according to me, it's very important. Okay, and it allows your users also to share their views, besides of course the comments and the likes part are already there. Okay. No, memes are something. So as I told you that I'm not only sticking to the traditional definition of what different kind of content is. I'm also looking at the practical application and the use cases of them. Okay. No, I have highlighted memes as one of the category, even though it can be put directly into the visual content. Okay. But memes are becoming more popular. Like, for example, I don't know how many of you have used this, sorry, seen this web series recently. It's called as Panchayat, right? It's a very nice, clean comedy made on the life of the villages and small town and all, right?
Yeah, I have.
And a lot of memes are doing rounds around that. Okay, based on some popular characters in their dialogues. For example, there's this dialogue called as "Dekh raha hai Vinod," and then there's a thought that comes, which accompanies that meme. Okay. Now, there's a term in marketing. It's also called as moment marketing, right? And of course, we talk about trending content, what is trending and what is not trending. So all of these things will allow you to capture that essence. Now you need to understand that when and where to use that. And I'm going to talk about that in the subsequent sessions also. It's not just the content creation that we are going to learn, but we are going to also learn about how to effectively use them, measure their performance, and scale your channels and platforms, right? So those kind of things. And of course, the monetization part, right? How would you like to monetize it, different ways of monetizing it, okay, right? Any questions, by the way, till now? Or anyone wants to share any idea, please feel free to do that. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So,
Apart from the YouTube and apart from blog, you will also try to highlight the different channels for blogging and article writing, or for the visual and
right.
audio as well, now.
Yeah, right. I'll
Okay.
do that. Yeah. So no, I have kept social media post as a separate category. And again, some of you might question that social media post is nothing but, the regular content that we're going to publish on, let's say, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Okay. Uh, but frankly, social media post consist of a lot of things. In fact, when I told you in the beginning that how the persona of the channel, let's say LinkedIn, is very, very different from, let's say, Twitter or Instagram. So that also means the content, the social media post that goes on LinkedIn might be very different from how it is being put on the Facebook or Instagram or Twitter for that matter. Okay. So we'll talk about that, and I'll give you references and examples of different types of content showing each of the channels one by one and how we can, leverage upon them to, just trying to. So there will be a lot of examples, in the coming 10, 15 minutes. You'll start seeing lots of examples once we have covered the basic concept. Okay, right. Uh, Now this category, the next one, 2D, 2D basically is a two-dimensional video. So I'm not talking about the three-dimensional videos over here because that's something a little complex to create and all. Of course, with the AI tools, you can do that, but I'll stick to the agenda of the sessions and I'll focus more on the 2D kind of small animations, maybe GIFs and all. Uh, and then there's a rich media content. So rich media content is something wherein you can interact with the content, not in a way you do with the polls and the Q&As, but a little different, like maybe something such as spinning the wheel. Okay, so how you spin the wheel and then you get to a particular target and you win some prize over there, something like that. So that's an example of rich media content. Okay, so there could be different formats, by the way. Okay. Now, the sec the next one is user generated content. Okay. So we also call that as a UGC, right? So UGC or user generated content is nothing but the content which is being created by the users. Okay. They are the followers of your brand or your, creator platform, and they are the ones who are going to create some content, and they're going to talk about you or your brand and tag you in that. Maybe sometime it could be testimonials, reviews, or any kind of feedback, right? Or appreciation for that matter. So user generated content represents that. Okay. And there are a lot of different kind of user generated content that we'll talk about. The last one is the live videos. So now almost all the social media platforms, whether it's the LinkedIn or Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everyone each of them has, the live video features. So you can create some live events. You can conduct some live sessions or interaction with your audience over there. Okay. And most of these publishers or the platforms, they also allow multi-party live videos, right? So you can go live at the same time, like two or three of you can go live at the same time in those videos. Okay. So that's also, in fact, I'll give a very interesting example. I'm sure that a lot of you might be aware about this. So there's this lady, I forgot the name of this lady. She's from West Bengal, okay? And she does a lot of live videos. And what she does is she go to a sari showroom and she starts demonstrating sari draping and all that stuff, whatever the new stock is, maybe some of the best ones from the stock. And she's able to sell lakhs and lakhs of worth of sarees just because of one live video that she does directly from the showroom or the store where she goes, right? And there are tons of examples of how it is being done across the globe. Okay, so right. So live videos are not just a way to interact with people, but no, the dynamics are changing and people are also getting into something like live shopping. Okay. So I forgot this name of the influencer. He's from, I think, Korea, and he's known as the lipstick guy, I believe. Okay. So now he basically demonstrate all the lipsticks and brands and all, and he when he does this live video, live shopping kind of video thing, uh, he actually is able to generate more sales than any single e-commerce store in the world. Okay, in fact, he has done record sales worth few $1 billion in a single day, and that too with the power of live video. And so, live commerce, live shopping, all these terms are something that you're going to hear a lot. At this moment, it's not that organized, but maybe in the future it will become even more powerful with the AR and other things coming into picture. Okay. So that's also a very different kind of, creative content that has a lot of potential in the future. Okay. Yeah. Any questions, by the way, before I move on to the next one? Okay. So, yeah, I want to talk about this particular slide, and this is very important. And so I was talking about marketing channels and the content mix. Okay. Now, if you see this table, so what I've done is on the left-hand side, I've kept some of the important marketing channels. Then in between, I have highlighted some of the important platforms. So when I say search engine, so search engine could be Google, it could be Bing, and Yahoo was one of the search engines earlier, right? Uh, so all of these are examples of the popular marketing channels in the digital context, by the way. Okay. So I'm not talking about newspaper and other traditional formats like radios and all over here. Okay. And the tools and the platforms, they represent these. So if you see on the right-hand side, there's a content mix, right? So if you think about, let's say, Google, Bing, etc., as search engines. So you'll find lots of product related pages, lots of information, right? So blogs, articles, all these kind of content. So there are plenty of content formats, by the way, but I told you that, I'm trying to stick only to the creative content. Okay. So yeah. Then comes the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. No, the problem is all these social media channels, they are very, very different in nature from each other. Okay, so Facebook is very different from Instagram, even though they are both part of the same company, right? And likewise, YouTube is very different. So I've tried to put some of the content mix over there, but not everything would be applicable to each of these channels. Okay. So for example, text post might not be relevant to YouTube. Okay, but it might be very important for Facebook and LinkedIn both. Polling is an option which is available in most of the channels in different formats. Okay, and even the Q&As for that matter. So visual post can be done on most of the channels. YouTube is primarily a video channel, so you'll find long videos and short videos on the YouTube. Okay, right? Uh, then comes the content and publishing platform. So I think Akanksha was asking about, monetizing content and so on. So I'll talk about how to do that on the social media, but some of these platforms, they pay you directly. For example, Medium is one of the platforms which can be used for blogging, and you can become an author, you can create content, and you can ask your subscribers to actually pay for your content. Okay, and there are a lot of paid subscribers on Medium, who values some premium content for that matter, if you have a really interesting article or blog for that matter. Okay. Uh, Pinterest is another channel which is probably more popular in the other part of the world than in India. And even in India, there's a certain segment of audience that follows Pinterest a lot, okay? Especially for the visual content, some ideas related to fashion, lifestyle, and even other categories for that matter, okay? So if you're looking for some visual content references, so Pinterest could be one of the channels. And in fact, the most interesting part about the Pinterest is it drives a lot of traffic. Okay. So if you have a product or a content strategy which involves around lots of visual content and you want to drive traffic back to your website, so Pinterest would be a better channel in that context. Okay, more important than Instagram and Facebook. Reason being, Instagram and Facebook can give you lots of direct, you can say views, engagements, etc. But when it comes to the traffic generation, so the ratio of the traffic that flows with respect to the overall size of your following and also the overall engagement on your post or videos is very, very small, while Pinterest does the opposite. Okay. So if you're seeing some product on the Pinterest, it also has normally the website link and all, and then you can click on that link and you can be taken to the website directly. Okay. So there's some limitations in Instagram where you put your link either in the comments or in the bio part, right? And they don't promote external links and all. So I'll talk about that also in a while. Okay. So these are some of the examples. Then we have blogging. I already talked about Twitter as one of the platforms. I think Instagram started Threads. So Threads is another platform which is mainly meant for microblogging. And there are some other platforms like Reddit and few others, uh, which uh, which a lot of people use, but probably they are in a different niche. For example, a lot of techno savvy people would actually use something like Reddit, etc. Uh, and they allow you to create some forums, groups, bookmarks, and all that stuff, right? So that's also an example of how microblogging is taking over in different forms. Okay. Uh, the next category would be the podcasting and the audiobooks. So now this is a segment which is growing like anything. Okay. So frankly, in today's generation, a lot of people are not shy of the camera. Okay. The camera, facing the camera comes naturally to most of us. Okay. Especially I'm talking about the younger generation. Okay. If I talk about my 4.5-year-old daughter, so she's probably more comfortable in front of camera than I am. Okay, and because something that is she has seen from since her childhood. Okay. Now, a lot of people who are good content creators, maybe they are good writers, maybe they can speak really well. Okay. But they probably have some challenge while facing the camera. Maybe they are not comfortable. Maybe they don't want to do that, right? So podcasting, in a way, has become a very, very good way to deliver your content, and where you can deliver the content through your voice, right? And talk about this, express yourself in a different way. And people enjoy it because a lot of time people they might not be in a position to watch videos all the time. Okay. But if for example, if someone like me, uh, if I'm traveling, I would probably like to hear a podcast or listen to a podcast or maybe an audio book, right? And I don't have time to go through books, so maybe I'll just go through flip the audiobooks and all for that matter. Okay. So that's another category. Direct messaging, when I say direct messaging or marketing, so it's mainly, when you have some contact information of the other person and you're trying to reach out to that person. So it could be delivered through the email, So you might have heard a lot about email marketing, SMS marketing, or WhatsApp marketing, right? And text or email messages can be delivered through that. Okay. Now, so earlier it was only being used for two purposes. One was related to information or transaction, right? So your bank will inform you about a bank transaction, and likewise, you'll get information that your courier has been delivered and so on, right? And the other aspect would be it will be used for marketing purpose, like you'll get a message from the lifestyle store saying that this weekend you can buy one product and get one product or 40% flat off or something like that. Okay. So that was something being done from ages, right? Now the way things are changing is lots of brands have started making use of SMS, WhatsApp, etc to create a touch point between the customer and themselves, and they deliver some content. And by the way, I missed out on one thing, that is push notifications. Okay. So push notification is one category wherein, brands are being very, very creative these days. Okay. So I'll show you some examples also that how they are doing it. So you have installed an app, or let's say Zomato app or Swiggy app or something, and you'll probably find something coming up there, all of a sudden it starts raining in Mumbai, and then you start seeing some crazy messages coming from there. Okay, uh, how to deal with the rain while you're sitting at home, right? While delivering some food and all. So they are being very creative and innovative in their approach, right? So it's no more only about the transactional and the marketing, direct marketing messages, but also about creating that engagement between you and your customer or the audience. Okay. And the second important thing is community building. So community building has become very, very important. Brands have understood that if they have the contact details of the customers or the subscribers, so they must use that for setting up that communication between them, so that they become or start feeling that they are part of that. Okay. So even for a creator, content creator, WhatsApp has become a very important tool. They can create groups, they can create channels now, and then you can keep your audience engaged. And it doesn't mean that every time you have to send them a promotional message in the group or the channel, right? So you can think about different creative ways of keeping them engaged or updated, or think about this as more like a notification, service. Like you create a new content on YouTube, and then you send it to your WhatsApp group users, saying you can watch and comment over there. Okay, right? The last category, it might not sound like it's a creative content category, but it's actually very creative. So I, being a marketer, I would value this more than anything else, because that's how I drive my bread and butter, by the way, right? So I manage a lot of marketing campaigns for my clients, and they're always looking for some concrete deliverables. When it comes to paid marketing, so Google and Meta are the most popular platform. So Meta basically is a name of the company which owns Facebook, Instagram, and now even WhatsApp for that matter. Okay, right? So Meta provides an advertisement platform, and even Google does that. Google has an ad platform. Okay, so whenever you go to Google, you search for something, like let's say you want to buy lipstick under 500. So you'll finding some ads over there. And I would suggest that, now you start reading into those ads. It's very interesting when you start reading those ad copies. We call them as ad copies. Okay. So ad copies are basically mix of your written ad and also the visual that goes along with that. Okay. So when you do that, so when you read that, so somewhere you're, as a customer, you are sold to that idea that, okay, yeah, I really want this product, or at least I want to try this. I want to visit the website and see how this product is, whether the price is suitable for me or not, and all that stuff, right? So ad copies are one of the most creative content copies, and they have existed for very long time, since the beginning of the advertising, okay, since the age of TV, radio, newspapers, and all that, okay, even much before the digital thing started. Right. So yeah, any questions?
How Apple is useful for podcast and other things?
Sorry.
My query is how Apple is using
Mhm.
using for podcast and for some for marketing. Which
No, so Apple, see, are you talking about the use case or are you talking about the platform?
I'm talking about the Apple platform. Which kind of platform Apple is
Oh,
using for that?
okay. So see, Apple also has a podcast feature, by the way. So if you install their phone or if you go to the iOS store, just you'll find that app for the podcasting, and even the Google does the same thing. Okay,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yeah, and
Google AdWords, I know. Google AdWords, I know, but I'm not sure about Meta and Apple. I haven't used it. So how, suppose I have an iPhone on
mhm,
is there any app or is there anything I can use
mhm.
for my marketing channel, for marketing purpose? So what exactly that app or that
Mhm.
channel is using in the
See,
Apple?
these are independent things. Okay, so I'll let you understand that
Mhm.
Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp and all, they are social media platforms and messaging tools, right?
Mhm.
But besides that, they also have a feature for Ad Manager. Okay,
Yes, yes, yes.
so through the Ad Manager, you can create the campaigns for Facebook, Instagram, even WhatsApp nowadays. Okay, so you can deliver your content through that. Okay. So that's one thing. Apple doesn't have the ad platform as of now, by the way. Why I mentioned Apple only with respect to the podcasting.
Podcast. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, got it.
right.
Yeah, that's why I just asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Google does have ad manager,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's called
Google
as
Ad,
Google
the
Ads. Yeah,
AdWords and other
yeah,
things. Even Meta
right,
has
right.
something, but I'm not sure. That's
Yeah.
why I'm not sure about Apple. I haven't
No, no,
seen. Yes.
Apple doesn't have the ad platforms as of now.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'm not sure if they would do that because they always talk about privacy and all, right? So that's the most important USP of Apple, I would say. So the
Yes.
moment they start getting into ads, so obviously they have to be intrusive, just like Google and Meta, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think they are going to do that very soon. But we don't know, business is business. Tomorrow if they decide that, okay, I want to do this, so they will do that, right? All right, so now let's go and have a look at all the examples. And so I'll start with the blogs, okay? So let me, right, so I'll talk about blogging first. I hope you're able to see my screen, right? Just a second, I think. All right. So I'm just taking an example of a blog first, right? So the reason I've selected something more generic or common because I wanted everyone to relate to these ideas. Okay. So now this is a blog called as Urban Diaries, right? And I think Tanya is the name of the owner of this blog. So if you see anything, let's say, for example, this is the one blog that we can discover how to make a perfect green smoothie. Okay, right? So as I told you that this is also very creative content. Okay, and I'm going to talk about how creative you can get with few examples. Okay, what happened? think there's some problem in the website. So I'm just, taking some random examples. Like you can see, the moment you start searching for something in Google, so what Google also does is that they try to present the most desirable content for that particular format, and they're very smart to know what exactly you're looking for. So let's say I've typed this thing, how to create a Cinderella look. Okay. And the moment I do that, they started putting videos in front of me instead of the blogs. So that's also an indication, a way to figure out that what kind of content is going to work for a certain type of query. Okay, so this is very important for you to understand. So when you go to any platform, whether it's Google, Facebook, Instagram, and you are doing some kind of search in their search boxes, so the moment you see some of the top content appearing over there, so also observe the format in which the content is being delivered. So one thing that works for Google is that they also own YouTube, by the way, just like the way Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp. So they think that people would like the videos more than the blog themselves. So that's why they're presenting some of the first few results as the videos instead of the blog. Okay. But having said that, they also have blogs in the listing for people who I would like to probably read in details, right? So let's say if I go to this particular blog. So one thing that you will notice about the blogs is they always start with a very attractive title. So the moment I go to search and I find something as attractive as this, like because my query was how to create a Cinderella look, right? And now this comes up, which tells me that there are 70 different 17 Cinderella costume ideas for a magical Halloween. So I don't know whether I need it for Halloween or something else, right? But I need that idea. So I thought maybe I'll just check it out just because the title looked a little attractive to me. And then this is the subtitle and so on. Okay. Now, in the earlier days, you will find that blog would be just a written content, but it's not the case anymore. Okay, so you'll always find that blog is a mix of written content, plus there always would be something embedded in the content. For example, there would be some videos, there would be some images which will be there, and there'll be some links also. Like for example, there's a hyperlink. So hyperlink is something which is added to the content keywords. Princess costume. So this is a hyperlink. You can see if you click on this, it will take you to another link, right? So normally the way people start with blog writing is they start with some kind of structure, like a very attractive title, which can entice people to click on that link, okay? And then they start with some very flashy, maybe some very interesting kind of introduction, depending upon the type, the content that you're presenting, right? Uh, so the idea is to make you fall, in love with this article or blog, and make you more interested so that you can keep reading and keep reading. Okay. The moment you're writing or the tone become very mechanical, so there's a uh, sorry, just a second. I think I'll just yeah. So there's a chance that your audience might fall out, okay, of this. So you don't want to do that. The more people are going to spend time on your blog, you are going to get a better audience. And the thing is, you're trying to increase your chances of monetization also. So someone was asking me about the monetization. Okay. So if you see on the right hand side, so there are lots of ads coming up over here. Oh no, these ads are relevant to me as an audience. Okay, it might not be relevant to someone who is looking for a Cinderella look in general. Okay, but for me as an audience, because I have landed up on this website, so they know that what kind of things I'm searching on internet, or maybe what kind of things I like. So these are some of the examples of the some tools and platforms that I plan to buy or use. So these are all the ads that coming up. So if you're a blogger, if you're doing blogging, you can monetize your blogging in multiple ways. Okay. So yes, you can do some sponsored content, like you can write for a particular brand, but that part will happen maybe much later, once you have established your blog, you have enough traffic, where you have enough, subscribers for that matter. So all those numbers would be very important before brand ask you for a sponsored post on your blog. Okay. Now, second could be through affiliate marketing. Now, some of you might be wondering that what is affiliate marketing and how you can earn that income from there. So affiliate marketing normally allows you to put some links within your blog, and these links are basically referral links of some brands. For example, uh, let's say if I'm just taking an example, let's say Zara has given you an affiliate link. Now that link is basically the link of a product or the website of Zara, and they will have some kind of tracking mechanism which allows them to track that whether this traffic is coming from your blog or someone else's blog. Okay. So you can put that link somewhere in your blog, and if people click on, let's say, let's imagine that this is Zara's link. Okay. So the moment I click on the princess costume and it takes me to Zara store's link, so they will know that traffic has come from Vivek, not from some other blogger. Okay. And they will pay me accordingly, so there are different ways of paying them. So that's one of the ways you can monetize. And then of course you can have a partnership with Google. I'll talk about these things later on. Okay. Now the idea is that when you're creating this kind of content, the best way to think about blogging is to think about Google, right? Go to Google and type in the keyword queries in the Google and try to find some of the best, especially the first page examples. Like if you don't want to go through all the 10 things that are there on the first page, you can at least start with maybe top 3 examples and try to look at each and every aspect of their blog. Okay, it's not just the written content, but everything, like starting with the how they have framed their title, what kind of visuals they are integrating. Is there any kind of engagement, that happens within the blog apart from the content? Like for example, there's an option of saving article over there. Okay, so how do you enable that? That is something you should look into. This is a video that comes inside this, right? So that's another way of put engagement stuffs in your blog. Links which connects to other blogs and other articles, right? You can see some of the image and the graphical representation of these. So having these kind of graphical representation, they give a lot of idea to the customers. Okay, what kind of dresses or the looks we are talking about, right? They're writing something and they're also representing them in the visual format. Okay, so it's very important that this might vary a lot from one segment to another. But I would say that you look at the examples from your segment. For example, if let's say you want to create content for DIY crafts, okay? So you should ideally go to Google and search for relevant queries for DIY crafts, right? Uh, so the moment you do that and you put those queries in the Google, so they will start showing you the blogs which are relevant to that query. And then you can see what exactly the blogger has done to make sure that, this DIY craft thing is appealing to the Google and to the users also, because they are ranking on the first page of the Google. That means not only Google likes them, but also the users who actually read this blog, they like it. Okay. So it's very important to see the overall aesthetics of the blog, not only the content part. Okay. And also look at the structure, that how they have formed the structure. So if you see, they talked about 17 different ideas, right? And now they're going through this them one by one, like starting with one and so on. Okay. And eventually they might have a closing note to this particular blog. Okay. Now, I was talking about another platform, which is basically Medium. So I'm going to talk about that also. So this is a very popular platform, and there are a few other platforms like this. Okay, and if you see, so by the way, it has both free version as well as paid version. Okay, so you don't need to be a paid subscriber to be able to use Medium. Okay, so you can write for free, and then you can decide whether you want to keep that content open for everyone, or you actually want people to pay for that, or maybe you only allow access to the paid members of Medium. Okay, right? So there's a membership that you can see over here. So if you're really fond of writing content, and if you think that your content is not like any other content or regular content in the world, so you should ideally get yourself registered over here, and they allow you to write on any kind of topic. So you can decide upon your niche whether you want to talk about fashion, whether you want to talk about, let's say, history, or DIY, or maybe household or technology, or whatever, whatever your niche may be. So you can get started on this kind of platform. Okay. Similarly, you have platforms like Quora, and also that also allows you to put certain content in a very different format. So Quora.com, it actually allows you to put the content in a question and answer format. Okay. Like there always would be a question for which they will provide you the answer. Okay. Like this is one of the questions. Now there would be some answer coming up over here. For example, will TCS take X TCS employees? Okay. And there's an answer for that, and there would be other users who would participate in this answer. Now, how would you again monetize this? So if you might have seen, there was an advertisement coming up in between, right? Tata AIG ad is coming up over here. Then the ads are there on the right hand side also. So you as a publisher or author, you also get a pie in the revenue which is being generated with the help of the ads. Okay. Yeah. Any questions, by the way? No, I'll take you to Pinterest, by the way. Okay.
Hi, I had
Yeah.
just had a question.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I wanted to know, as somebody who has not used social media in any form other than just as a consumer,
Mhm.
and that too very few, what do you suggest as the starting point if I want to contribute in some way, and I have not used social media in any form other than just being a passive user? Then what do you think is the starting point that and we are not like comfortable posting videos or putting up pictures out there or our videos out there? Then what do you think is this content creation is it still okay for people who are relatively in an introverted kind of I hope you get where I'm going.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. And in fact, I can relate to your thoughts. Okay, so I would probably quote myself in the introvert category, or maybe ambivert or something. I'm probably not an extrovert person for that matter. Okay, so I can relate to what you're talking about. Okay. All right. So no, coming to your point, see, before coming to the idea of what kind of content format uh, would you need, right? And whether you are comfortable with that or not. I would say that it's very important to decide upon one thing, that what exactly do you want to talk about? What are you passionate about? Okay. So the entire theme that you need to decide or pick, like let's say, I'm not sure what your hobbies or what your interests are and what exactly you want to create content for. Okay. So I'm just taking an example. Let's say you're very passionate about DIY crafts, and you think, okay, this is something that should be imparted as a knowledge, and I should probably showcase my creativity skills and let people learn from it. Maybe, tomorrow they like your idea. For example, let's say you're very good with crocheting. Okay. So you do crocheting, and then you think, that this could be one way I can earn some income also in the future. Maybe first I'll share some of the skills that I have, and I'll show some stuffs that I've created. So not always and not in every case, you have to be there like in face of the camera. For example, I know a lot of good content creators who don't normally appear in front of their cameras most of the time, and uh, and then they're always focused on the skills. For example, if you're stitching something, maybe you're doing some kind of DIY craft, like let's say you're good with embroidery and all. So your focus is entirely on the that part of the video, okay, instead of you, okay. But yes, in some of the categories, there's a chance that you might have to present yourself, and if you're not doing it, then you might have to take someone else's help. For example, let's say you're a makeup artist, okay? And but at the same time, maybe you're not comfortable doing makeup on yourself, but you're okay doing it for a client of yours, right? So maybe you can pick someone from your family, from maybe from your clientele and so on, and pick them up and do that. Okay, so that's one part of the story. The second part of the story would be, as I mentioned, that this is very important, and I'll go back to this slide again. The entire mix of content, the marketing channel and the content. Okay. So you need to figure out what would be the best content mix and which channel are you planning to use it, or vice versa also. Let's say you want to be on the social media, and then you can decide that which channel platform, like whether you want to do it on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and accordingly you need to pick the content mix and then plan your content. I think there are enough creative ways wherein you can probably not present yourself in the camera. Maybe you can present yourself in a half manner, like for example, you probably don't show yourself, and yet you are able to create that kind of engagement. So you need to figure out that what exactly are you good at, and how do you want to present those ideas. You don't have to be in face of the camera all the time.
Okay, thank
uh,
you.
yeah.
Thanks, Vikram.
So now I go back to Pinterest. So Pinterest is one platform. For example, I'll just take you here, right? So as I was talking about, so a lot of people go to Pinterest to explore ideas. Okay. So what you will do is you will go to Pinterest search, or maybe even sometimes you do Google and you try to find out some ideas. You'll find that, Pinterest will give you the most desirable results when it comes to visual visual content search, I would say. Okay. No, Instagram and Facebook are the platforms where you normally are active, and you spend time every time you go to your social media feed, like on Instagram and Facebook, you will find something based on your liking, interest, and following, etc. Right? So you go to Instagram, and the influencers whom you're following, you'll start seeing their feed over there. But Pinterest is one channel which is very similar to how Google would work, right? What we do in Google is we go to Google and we type some queries and we are looking for answers. Similar to that, whether you go to Google or Pinterest directly, you will type some queries and Pinterest will give you some results based on the ideas and the inspirations that you're looking for. And what you'll also notice is that it's not just the image, but also some other part, like this is a link. So normally, if let's say if someone likes this particular sari, right? The next idea would be to click on this link, Saris Bazaar, and then go and see whether you are just taking that as an inspiration or whether you're looking to buy the stuff. In both the cases, you'll probably click on that link. So the click-through rate in this case of the Pinterest is very, very high as compared to the Instagram and Facebook I was talking about. Okay. So a lot of e-commerce brands, they actually leverage upon this their traffic potential. Okay, and not only e-commerce brand, but also non e-commerce brand as well. Okay, so and Pinterest is nothing but it's a very interesting idea of putting everything in a very traditional pin board kind of format, right? So you can create your own pin. So there's an option to create your pin where you can highlight some of the things that you've liked, and maybe you keep it like a bookmark. Tomorrow you want to log in and see what are the kind of things that you've sorted. So you'll be able to see that in your pin board, and not only you, but people who follow you, or if the pins are public, anyone can see that. So it's like an open pin board, public pin board that anyone can see or you can keep it private also, by the way. Okay, right. So you don't have to store everything in your computer. You can keep it stored here as an inspiration board. Now, this works in any kind of, category. It's not limited only to the fashion, by the way, as I was talking about. So you will see a lot of, yes, fashion and lifestyle would be the major category even here. But having said that, there would be other categories also, like photography is one of the, big categories over here. There will be inspirational quotes and all that you can see. Then food recipes, food is another category. Then interior, we talk about furnishings, furniture, interior, and also that also is one of the popular categories over here. Okay, so all these kind of things can be explored over here. So you can create content for this. Now, I'll come to
Vivek sir,
yeah.
I have one question and query. How
Mhm.
can we determine the size of the content, or where we can start and where we can stop?
Sorry, size.
Size means, suppose this is the slide.
Mhm.
Prior slide was for the women who is wear the sari. So I
Uh-huh.
don't want to go further. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And if I want to go further, so how many slides I can open, or how many pages I can able to open when we are deciding this content? Suppose I'm
Uh-huh.
creating that. So how we can able to decide and determine where we should start and stop the
Uh,
content, video
okay.
or written, both,
See,
or
yeah, so I'll tell you, most of the platforms, they definitely have limitations and let's say, for example, if you go for reels and shorts, they normally ask you, let's say, for 30 seconds and such kind of videos, right? So YouTube longer videos, they don't have the limitations, so you can put even 1 hour, 2 or 3 hours of videos. If you go for the LinkedIn post, so they have limitation again in terms of the number of words that you can put. Tweet again has limitation in terms of the number of characters and all that can be put over here.
okay, got it,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you.
So you don't have to worry about that limitation part. So the moment you decide that you want to go live on a certain channel, so that channel will provide you, there are different guidelines also, in fact, what I can do is I can share a guideline which exists for different kind of content formats and also for each of the channels. So I already have that template. I'll probably share that with the Jobs for Health team, and they can share with you so that you can use that as a ready reference, and that will not only have the content formats limitations as in, but also some of the best practices, guidelines, and even you know some ideas or inspirations. So I'll try to do that, and I'll share that with you so that you can always use that as a ready reference. And not only in terms of the text size, but also the resolution and the aspect ratio of the visuals, how it should be, whether it should be the square or rectangular and so on, all that kind of thing. Okay. Right, so I'll quickly jump into social media now, because social media is one of the platforms that we're going to use a lot. And so I'll start with Facebook. I'm sure that, since you guys already use Facebook, so a lot of things might be familiar to you, but and there are a lot of things that I can talk about in Facebook, but because my job is here to educate you about the content creation, so I'll try to focus more on the content creation part. Okay. So this is the newsfeed, and this newsfeed is based on whom you have been interacting with, and how frequently, whether it's the people, the brands, or the content creators, right? And accordingly, you'll see the content from them, right? No, this isn't sponsored content. That is something I was talking about, the ad copies. Okay, so now that this is something in front of me, so I'll probably talk about this first, and then I'll move on to the other form of content. Okay, so if you see textbuilder.ai, so this is the name of this company. So basically, they basically provide an AI tool that helps us create some content. mainly for the blogging, social media purpose, and all that stuff that is required online. Okay. Now I interacted with this platform once, and now they've started showing me advertisement. Okay. Now look at the copy itself. Sale ends tonight. Okay. Now they know that I'm someone who is probably keen about their software. That's why I went to their website. I spent some time over there. So now they've started advertising to me. At the same time, they are trying to say that sale is going to end tonight. So if you're really keen about this, you can pay and you can buy this tool. Okay. And look at the entire copy. Never pay for auto blogging AI tools again. Get lifetime deal. So they're trying to lure me into buying this product. Okay. So that's the advertisement copy, I was talking about. Okay. So I mean, just read this line, never pay for auto blogging AI tools again, get lifetime deal. And the sale ends tonight. So in a way, they're saying, okay, you need to stop doing whatever you're doing. I need to pay attention to this particular ad or the tool. If you really want to grab this thing, you can do it tonight. Otherwise, it's gone for you. Okay. And you cannot get this lifetime deal ever, right? So, and look at this. Get lifetime account for $59, normally which is for $1,044, right? So this is an example of how the creative content goes into the ad copies. And uh, one of the things that stands out in the ad copies is that you basically trying to write less and but at the same time, you're trying to convey a lot of thoughts, right? So no, look at this. It's not even 20 words in total that they have written in this entire ad copy. Okay. So this is more of a copywriting kind of skill, which is little different from how we create the creative content and do all that stuff. But this is something that I would ideally suggest that you should develop. And this will also help you uh, when you start doing some copywriting practice, right? So you can always come up with some very nice captions for your reels, shorts, and all in the future, because these are the one-liners and all that can appear on your as a text caption over your video reels and all, right? And that can make people stop and pay attention to what you're doing. Okay. So that's how it is. So this was one of the example of the ad copies. Now I'll talk about the content part. So if you remember, I showed you an example of content mix and the platforms. Now, if you look at one of these things, there's a text post and there's a visual post. Most of the time on a social media platform, you will find uh, guys, just give me a minute. I think I'm getting a call repeatedly. I need to pick this. Just give me a moment, okay? Yep, sorry. So, what I was trying to highlight over here is that if you look at Facebook, so Facebook has an option for both text post as well as visual post, and it could be a mix of both. Now, this is a very important thing to figure out that how exactly are you planning to present your content. Okay. Now, this is a very simple information that is coming from this cricket coverage, so those of you who follow the sports, so they probably would be able to relate to it. But I'm just focusing on the format part. If you see that there's a text, written text over here in this post, okay, and and so that's basically a descriptive text, I would say. And then it is being accompanied by the visuals that represent that idea about, how Gautam Gambhir is being selected as a coach of the Indian team and so on. Okay, right? Now, what I want you to pay attention over here is that if you see, it's not like a typical blogging content. Okay, you'll find that there are different uses of expressions and emojis and all, right? If you see, these are the emojis that are being used over here. It is basically to deliver some punch in the content and also to differentiate what you want to read and not. So you'll find that it has been placed in different format. It might not be the best example, by the way. I can probably show you some other examples like this. You can see. So they're using these emojis in different places in this content. Okay. Now, with most of the social media posts, one thing is very important that, like for example, if you see the difference between this post and the one that I'm going to show you, it's very descriptive, right? There are long paragraphs and all that are being written. But this will be read by only someone who is very, very highly passionate about this thing. Like in this case, I'm very passionate about cricket as a sport, right? So I'll prefer to read this irrespective of how it is written because it's coming from, it's a very interesting news for me. But if I'm not that keen or interested, as in, highly interested, so maybe I'll probably skip that part. So I would like to pay attention to the content which gives me a little bit of, I would say excitement or enticement in the beginning itself. Okay. So that I'll stop over and then try to read it. For example, if you see this, India's Divya Deshmukh has now become the world U U20 under 20 girls chess champion, right? Now, this is a very exciting headline. I know there's not too much of content over here, but I would stop over here and I'll try to read this and I'll go through all this entire content, right? And then also look at the visuals and anything else. Okay. Now, in the context of social media, this has become very important that your visuals are not just visuals. Okay. So there's a huge amount of chance that I might miss out on this particular headline and also the text which is written over there. But let's say if I keep scrolling and if I look at this image and I'll probably stop over to see who this person is. And at the same time, if I read this caption below this, which talks about breaking news. Okay, India's Divya Deshmukh becomes the world under 20 girls chess champion. Okay. Now, this is something that I'll probably be more attracted towards because this combination of the text copy or the headline that is there on the image and the image itself will make me stop and look at this thing, seeing, okay, what exactly this is about, right? So, in social media, the visual content plays a very important role, but at the same time, you also need to ensure that there is some message which is being conveyed uh, through the visual content, whether it's a static image or whether it's a dynamic content like a video or a GIF animation. So it has to be a mix of visual and the written content. Okay. Uh, See, I mean, maybe there are some attractive images. People would stop over to see some of those attractive images once or twice, but they don't know, if they don't know what this image is about and why it has been put, they might not interact with that kind of content or the page or the Instagram handle uh, later on. Okay. So this is very important to have that kind of balance. Okay. And when you're creating a content, don't make it boring, as in very monotonous or very lengthy, because social media has the least amount of attention. So it's always a good idea to break down your content into this kind of format or the other kind of formats that you would probably see once I keep scrolling. Okay. If you see most of these people on the Facebook, they are trying to use the image area and trying to put some content in the image itself. Now, one thing that you can do is, and I would do ask you to do as an assignment or as an activity at home, that when you're trying to create a post on Facebook, or even I will go to the other platforms, Instagram and all that stuff. Okay, right? So, 1 minute now, just a second. So, yeah, what I was trying to say over here is that each of these platforms, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all, they provide you different options to create a post. The problem is most of the time, when we're trying to create a content, we only think about two things. One is the text, and the other one is the image or the video part, and we just try to upload it. And that's how we create most of the content. Okay. So now I really want you to pay attention to one important thing, which is when you're trying to create this content. So try to play around with these options. Okay. So apart from the photo and video, which you definitely would upload, you also has an option. Let's say, for example, you can customize how your content would come up over here, something like this. So now you can see even the written content format has changed over here. Okay. You're doing it through your own personal handle, by the way, and the Facebook page has different options, additional options too, right? Right. So you can see how the visual content is being created over here. Okay. Now, you can tag people. So don't unnecessarily tag people. You should tag only people who you think would like this idea of you tagging them. Okay, maybe they're your close friends, family members, and so on. Okay, so don't try to tag too many people because they might get offended because of that. Then another way of, expressing things is your feeling. So that's something you can express, like you're feeling happy while sharing this post. So you're just basically adding an element or human element, I would say, to that particular post. Okay. So then you also have other options like you can check into a place. For example, you are traveling to, let's say, Goa, and you want to check in, and then at the same time you probably want to publish that post. So it will come up over here. And then right now, because this is a different format altogether, so it doesn't allow me to, sorry, yeah. Now you will see that it also allows me to create or choose a GIF file. So that's like a small animation kind of thing that you can pick up for your post. So these are just few of the examples. Okay. So the idea is that you should probably try to make content more engaging in different possible ways you can. And if you go to a Facebook page, so I'll probably pick an example of Facebook page to show you once you have a page. So how you can create some of the things. Let's say, so this is a Facebook page, and you can create a content over here. Right? So if you see, there will be some usual options for you to create the content like photos, videos. So I was talking about the live video. So now the moment I click on this, so it will start accessing my camera and it will take me live, online in front of my audience. So let's say if I have 10,000 followers, I can actually go live from here directly. I don't need any additional tool for that, right? So these are the other options that you have. And then I was talking about few other activities like, so these days, sorry. You also have these kind of options like raise money, so you can actually raise money for the charity, get some WhatsApp messages on your post. Let's say you are a content creator and you are showing something, let's say you're making a coffee and you ask people that if they want this coffee, you can order them directly, right? Now, how do they do it? So now you want to monetize your content in a very different way, like you want to sell your product. So in that case, you might need something which is called as a call to action, CTA or call to action. Okay. So you can attach these kind of CTAs like get WhatsApp messages or get calls, right? And for that, you need a one-time verification of your phone number, and then your phone number can be picked and associated with your post. Right? Okay. So that's how you can make even your content not only engaging and interactive, but also actionable for that matter. Okay, so people can reach out to you. Okay, so that's one example. Now I'll move on to another one. So I think the most popular platform these days is Instagram. So I'll talk about that. By the way, any questions? Would anyone like to share anything? I know I've been talking and talking, so
Hello.
yeah.
Is my voice audible?
Yes, you're audible. Yeah.
I wanted to ask that nowadays everybody is posting content on every platform, so there's no restriction. But
Right.
I just want to know, how do content creators or bloggers earn revenue? Like, or any we can see a lot of food bloggers also. So how are they earning revenue?
See, I'll probably, type this over here. Maybe, because this is a very common question. Okay. So I'll put this over here and you can, everyone can see that too. Just give me. I think it's visible to everyone, right? So monetizing your content. So one could be through ads. So basically, if you're active on, let's say, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or other platforms also like blogging platforms such as Medium, and if you have your own WordPress blog and so on, right? So one of the things would be you can actually earn money through the ads. So how it works is that most of these channels, they have a program which allows you to register with them for the ad programs, right? So if you go for Google, so Google has something called as Google AdSense program. Okay. So Google AdSense is one of them, and so on. They are for YouTube also. They have YouTube Sense. It's very similar to Google AdSense, and so. So what happens is they have a minimum criteria that you should be able to reach these many followers or these many views or engagement on your channel. Then only they will allow you to monetize your content. So this is primarily through ads I'm talking about. This is one of the methods through which you can earn. Okay. Now I think for YouTube they have 400 hours of view and total view, by the way. It's not just one content view, and I think 10,000 subscribers or something. So that's the minimum criteria that a YouTuber can start monetizing their content with the help of ads. Okay, so this is one. Second one is through the affiliate links. Okay, so what you do is you normally get links from the brands for their products or the offer. Okay, let's say Myntra. So Myntra gives you a link for 30% off, and that link will have uh, your let's say something like this, myntra.com slash, let's say, top wear is the category, and then there's something like this, right? So there's a tracking enabled in this, even though the actual URL might be only up till top wear, but they've included your name as one of the tracking components in the URL. So the moment you share this link in your social media URLs or your blog or through your WhatsApp or whatever ways you can share this with the people, your followers and your community. So people, when they click on this and they buy something, you'll get a certain commission for this. Okay. And that commission is again pre-decided by the brands. Let's say it could be 5% of the sales value or 10% of the sales value and so on. Okay. Another very popular method would be through the coupon code. So you might have seen that like a lot of influencers, uh, they actually, they actually create coupon codes, very specific coupon codes. Again, let's say in this case, I'm talking this, taking this example. So I'll probably use the same Akanksha 20. So when you use this coupon code, so the brand and even you as an influencer or content creator will know that how many times this coupon code has been used by the users. If it has been used by them, like different users, let's say 100 times. So now you get paid for those 100 sales by the brand. So this is another popular method. But both of these methods work with the popular content creators and the influencers because they have a sizable audience, right? Now, what would you do in the beginning? So there could be something called as sponsored posts, right? Now, sponsored post could be like a paid one, or it could be a barter one also. Okay. So basically, what it means is you basically take a product or a service from a brand, and what you try to do is you try to endorse that on your platform, on your social media channel. So you talk about that. For example, let's say iPhone. So you display iPhone, its features and everything on your social media channel. And maybe Apple have given you that phone for free. So which in this case will become barter for you because you're not getting directly paid in terms of the influencer fee or something, but you are basically getting the product itself. Now this product could be as big as iPhone, or it could be as small as, let's say, a face wash or anything for that matter. Okay. Or you can get paid for that. So the influencers would command a price, let's say 10,000 to 10 lakh rupees also, or even more for that matter, depending upon what kind of influencer I'm talking about, like whether it's someone like Amitabh Bachchan or maybe Deepika Padukone, or maybe someone, as commoner as you and me. Okay. So obviously the rates will vary and so on. Okay. So these three are very popular methods. Now, fourth thing that is gaining popularity these days is because all these content creators and the influencers, they're also trying to find some stable income. They want to generate a stable income for themselves. Now, let's say you are good at something. Let's say you're good at designing clothes. So you might want to take orders directly from the customers, or you might want to showcase your products, something which you have designed, maybe for your sister, maybe for your friend, maybe for your customer, right? And you want to display that. So you can even start selling your own products. Okay. So that's one. Or you can simply endorse someone else's product also. Okay. So it doesn't mean that you're only selling your product. Like you can promote someone else's product and you get paid some commission on that. Okay. As in not only through the affiliate link directly, in showing the product and then asking them to put an order or something. And then people buy it directly from you or maybe from the reseller, sorry, the seller for whom you are trying to endorse this product. Okay. So normally, these are the ways with which you can monetize your content, but there are lots of additional ways like you can educate people, you can train them, you can sell some digital products also, like something like a template, let's say a planning template for kids. Maybe you can sell some stories, books, or whatever. So, see, idea is that you should identify a niche. You should be able to relate to a product or a category or maybe a industry altogether. Okay. And then try to see what kind of content you can generate, and then try to see one of these methods at least which works for you. Okay. You don't have to do in everything, and of course, you might not be eligible for everything in the beginning. Okay, so it's very important to decide that what you can begin with first. And there could be different other innovative ways, like it also depends upon your service or the product. Like for example, someone who is an astrologer, so they might give you some free tips on their channel, and then you can DM them and ask them for a consultation. So they're basically selling their consultation services. Okay. See, social media or other platforms that we're talking about is this is just a channel or a medium to serve the content and reach out to the right audience. Now, how you want to do it and what exactly you want to sell or how you want to earn money, it's something that you need to figure out. Okay. What could be the best way? Like, I think someone said that, she's not comfortable uh, facing the camera or making those videos, reels, etc. So maybe, for her, it might be very difficult to talk about the product in the videos. Okay. But it doesn't mean that she cannot sell. She can still advertise, the products, or she can probably create her own line of products or endorse someone else's product, maybe educate people, maybe create some digital products for that matter, right? So there's not one way of doing it. You can do it in multiple ways. You need to figure out what suits you best. And of course, the product and the market fit is also very important, whether the people in that market would actually like it or not. For example, today, if you talk about the personal care and the cosmetics brands, so people are habituated of seeing the influencers doing makeup, doing hairdos and all that stuff. And then only they go and watch the videos and then decide whether this product is good for them or not, right? But if you try to promote it in a very different way, so you need to think about whether they would like this idea or not. For example, if you create a workshop, that's not a bad idea, right? So you can create a 30-minute workshop for makeup. So people would learn something from you and they start valuing your opinion or your ideas more than anything else. So this could be one of the ways you can reach out to them instead of, every now and then coming up in the reels. You can actually demonstrate how you're going to do that makeup on someone else's, and you can explain that in a class, right? And people will learn that idea from you. So yeah, I mean, that's about monetization part. I think we are getting a little distracted from the topic, but anyways, I'll cover it up. So I was trying to give you some examples. Now I'll come back to social media. So yeah, the most favorite social media channel today, that's your Instagram, right? So again, just like any other channel, Instagram has a center feed, and you'll find that this feed comes from one of the channels that I follow. So Your Story is a platform for entrepreneurs. Okay. So I follow this, and that's why I'm seeing that in my feed. Now, Instagram has lots of different options again when it comes to creating content. But first, I will show you some of the content ideas and the things that happen over there. So if you see, uh, can you see this part? Like by Appleverse and others. Okay. Now, who these others are? We need to click on this and you need to see this. Okay. So earlier, Instagram used to show this number. If you remember, they used to show the numbers of people who like this post or who have commented and all those kind of things, right? And these days, like you can still see the comments, but you cannot see the likes part directly. What you need to do is you need to click on the others, and then you can see how many people have actually seen this, right? No, the thing is, they wanted to keep it genuine. Like a lot of people, especially I would blame on the marketers. A lot of good marketers are there. There are a lot of bad marketers. So a lot of bad marketers started exploiting these features from Instagram. Okay. So they would probably focus on growing the followings. And for that, they will create a bot and start pushing the numbers from 10,000 to 15,000 followers in a day. They were actually not real people. They were actually fake people who were following this, any channel for that matter, not only this. So the idea was to keep the content and the relativity of the content to the people in a very genuine and authentic way. Okay. So that was not happening because of these small things. And that's why, Instagram started discarding some of the things, including the numbers which appears on these things like the post and all. But you can still see the matrix. I'll show that to you later on, that you can still, as a creator, you can find that how many people have actually liked your content, how many of them have commented, or how many of them bookmarked and so on. Okay, right. So that is one part. Now, if you see this part of the content, it's always the multimedia content format, right? So whether it's going to be images, it could be single image or multiple images like this post. I believe this is a carousel post, right? You can see this. So this has multiple images. So you can have multiple images one by one, just like a slideshow. Then you have a static image post. You also have reels. Then you also have a regular video that you can post and publish, right? And all that stuff. Now there are different ways of engaging with that content. Now look at this, the representation of this content. Forget about the topic, but just look at the representation. Okay. So again, what I was talking about, you start with a storyline, and just something keeping track of the interactions across phone, in-person and online settings can be overwhelming to anyone. Now, this is a little technical in nature, but if you see, what they're trying to do is they're trying to structure this content in a very readable format, because most of the time people would be looking at this on a mobile phone and a device. So the last example that I showed you, uh, that was for a content related to cricket. It was very descriptive content and everything was written in very long paragraphs. That is not a very ideal way to represent your content. Okay. So you should break it down probably in the bullet points, maybe some phrases, bring some other elements in between that includes your emojis, maybe some questions and all that stuff. And ultimately the hashtags. We're going to talk about the hashtags also. But today, what I can tell you about the hashtags is that hashtags are basically created to organize content. Okay. So if you go to a search function in Instagram and you type some hashtag, let's say, with respect to that hashtag. So hashtag is a way of organizing content for the social media. Okay. So now you need to understand that this is also a responsibility for you as a content creator. I have seen a lot of content creators, what they do is they start stuffing hashtags into their post, okay, just in the anticipation of more engagement, views, etc. Right? But that is not the ideal way to do that. You always have to be very, very selective about, what kind of hashtags are relevant to that particular post. And yes, you might have a few hashtags which are relevant to your industry, your category of products and services, right? Or it could be related to you or your handle for that matter. For example, this comes from Your Story. So they obviously going to highlight their name, Your Story or Your Story News, right? So all these things are very important. So organizing a content, whether it's a descriptive content like this or text content, and the image content that comes. So that is also very, very important over here. The image or video content. Okay. Now, now let's go to the reels. Any questions by the way till now? Okay. So now as a content creator, you can create again different kind of content. You can see there's a create option over here, right? If you click on that, it will actually ask you what exactly you want to do, whether you want to create a post like this, or you want to go live. So you can start a live video directly from here. Okay. Now, if you see, when you're creating a content, let's say if I start with creating a post, now it will ask me to, select the content from my I think I don't have a short video in this laptop. But anyways, so what I'm talking about is once you upload a photo or a video over here, okay. So what it will do is, let me try something. I don't know if this is a, no. Anyway, so I'm just taking that as an example. So let's say there's an attractive image over here and you click on next. And the first thing that they will ask you to use the filters, let's say I'm just selecting one of the filters. I'll, explain these in details later on, so don't worry. Okay. So this is your complimentary, image or the video that comes along with the post. And then this is the caption part. So the caption part is something that I was talking about. If you're putting up a short caption or long caption, whatever you're trying to do, you need to understand that there has to be a structure and it should always have a very good opening line. Okay. One line, then you take a pause and then you can start putting more content if you want. The reason being, if you see most of the content when it appears in your Instagram feed, uh, it will only show you the visual content and maybe one or two lines below that. The moment you click on the more button, it will expand and it will show you all the other content. So the first line which user is going to read is something uh, so I'm not the best writer, by the way, but I'm just trying to put some thoughts. So, no, this comes across to you. It shows a phone visual and you're worried about your phone getting hacked. So maybe you'll stop over here for a while and you'll start looking at the video or the post, whatever it is, and even read the caption for that matter. Okay. So this is very important that, the first line, the opening line should be something that can make your users stop over there. And then you go through the entire content in this. Okay. And of course, there are other additional features like location. There's an accessibility feature that is there, which basically allows people with disabilities and special abilities, to read your content or for that matter. Okay. So all these kind of things, and of course, few settings. So, and that's it. You go and share this, and it get published on your platform. Okay. So you have all the means to use a combination of written as well as visual content. And as I mentioned that I'll give you the guidelines also for the same. Okay. So these were some of the examples. And in the next session, I'm going to talk about, how to create these kind of content for different platforms, some of the best practices. And I'll show you some really interesting tools and platforms, whether it's an AI-based tool to generate content, or whether it's a creative content creation with the help of, let's say, Canva and some other tools, right? So you'll learn all these things. Okay. So before we move on to the next, part of the session, which is basically nothing but more of questions and answers, I would like you all to try one thing. Okay. I want you to write one line, just one line. Okay. And give your introduction as an content creator or whoever you're trying to be, just put that one line introduction, and that should be sufficient for people to understand what you do or what you're planning to do on the social media, and people should be able to relate to you. Okay, just one line introduction, and that can be put in the chat window. I'll give you 2-3 minutes to do this exercise. I want everyone to try this thing. It's just one liner, okay, about yourself. Don't put too many lines, just one line, preferably uh, 10 to 15 words maximum, maybe 20 words, not more than that. That's it, right? And I'll be back in 2 minutes. You put it in the chat window, and I'm going to read all of them. Okay, so I want to see who can get this thing right.
Hello, Avneet.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I don't see anyone writing anything in the chat window, by the way. So
Is it easy to be written in the chat box?
yes,
Yes,
just
Okay,
the
okay.
chat box.
If you want to make confirm. Okay, thank you.
Priyanka has sent the introduction, Vivek.
Right. I can see that. So yeah, that was the first one. Hey, this is Priyanka here to make you understand your own life better. Wow. So that sounds very philosophical, Priyanka. But anyways, that's how you.
Yeah. That's what me, I'm telling you about myself that I'm very philosophical. Yeah.
Good. Then I am Vandana from Pune. I started cooking channel on YouTube. So see, Vandana, you can talk about your cooking channel, but I wanted you to be a little more creative, so that when you present that in the form of your audience, let's say if you put that in your bio link in the Instagram, right? Sorry, bio text. So people should get excited about connecting with you, following you. So everyone probably would know looking at your content that you have a cooking channel, but it's important to probably express that in a very different way. So you have to be a little creative over here. That's what I'm trying to say.
Was my a good one?
Sorry, who is this?
Priyanka.
Okay, Priyanka. Yeah, yours were good. Yeah. So Anusha has written, I want to excel in crafting compelling narratives that resonate with the audiences, whether for marketing materials, websites, blog, or social media. Okay. See, you want to excel in crafting compelling narratives. I mean, it's fine. I think, you have a very different audience, like maybe brands and the companies, the businesses who are looking for
Actually, I don't have any experience in that. And that's what I wanted to do, something else. I don't know exactly. So I write something I wanted to use blogs or social media to create my content. So I wanted to be a content writer,
Okay,
so that's I just wanted to say because
no worries. Yeah.
I used to use Quora as an astrologer and traveling, these kind of things I have very much interest. So I wanted to use such kind of things in websites
Got
or so.
got it. So basically, what you're trying to say is that, you can create or deliver content for the people who want to use it for their own marketing purpose, right? So that's your
Yes,
the
I
whole
cannot do
essence.
myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
Yes, absolutely. I've just written this and that because I have no clue what that is. So I mean, what she said was similar to what I'm thinking, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any. I mean, I was a software tester before, and so I don't know if I want to share that. But you know, I would really, but I like to write. So is that's something that I would like to share, help others,
Mm-hmm.
rather than write about my own life.
Right, right.
Because I would like to help, you know, others.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably, I mean, I'm also here because of curiosity and not don't have much
Got it.
experience in this.
Got it. I think, a lot of you are actually trying to create your own name in this world, as in, in terms of the content creation, you are just getting started. So it's quite obvious that, you are probably trying to figure out things for yourself. So that's totally okay. You need to think over that, how you want to approach this, what kind of content ideas you should be putting up and all. So take your time, don't worry. Okay. And yeah, I mean, your past experience and your past work background uh, doesn't mean anything. Like, you don't have to put that as a barrier or as a starting point for yourself. Okay, so you can be someone else in your professional life, but we are passionate about something. Maybe there's a subject matter, maybe there's a topic or a hobby or interest that you're very, very passionate about. So you should start thinking about content creation around those lines instead of, what your profession, whether you're doing something now or maybe in the past, doesn't really matter. Okay. So yeah, I'll quickly read some of them and then we'll move on to the next thing. So yeah, Nalima says biotech researcher in the past and homemaker upskill to be a data analyst and a yoga teacher. Okay. Yeah, so that's a nice way of putting your profile at the same time saying, but maybe, what you can say is like the yoga teacher is something that you would probably like to highlight first because that's something which you're going to create content about. I'm not sure whether you're going to content create you want to do the content creation around data analytics or something else. So if so being a biotech researcher is your qualification, but at the same time, because you want to be a yoga teacher now and you want to talk about that on your channel, so I think ideally that should be highlighted first, and then you can add something like maybe you can do something like this also, like a researcher turned yoga teacher and so on. But you need to highlight that part of your personality first, because that way people will be able to connect with you for your content. So, Tejasvi says myself, Tejasvi adaptive and flexible to environment where I'm in. Okay, but it doesn't talk much about your content creation,
Yes, actually, sir,
Ryan
I
Chana.
just now I created one. Shall I make it orally?
Yeah,
Or
you
shall
can.
I?
You can.
Actually, myself, Tejasvi, with the legal compliance background, I am driving my skills to my next career journey. This is I actually wanted to share.
Okay, so you want to talk about legal and laws related
Means
content, right?
I was in prior experience, I was in that. So that's why I wrote like this.
But then you want to create content around that, or the channel around that only, or like you want to deviate from that?
I want to deviate as per the requirements or
Okay. So then if you're planning to deviate, so you can probably talk about something which is close to your heart or you're planning to do, or at least you're thinking at the moment, Maybe you're not come to a decision, but at least you're thinking on those lines.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Lakshmi says she's from Bangalore, power skills motivator. Okay. Great. Monica says, I'm a homemaker, newly started the content creation. Okay. Sally Sawant from Mumbai, and currently upgrading myself in HR, analytics, and BI tools. Okay. I like to create YouTube videos, do digital marketing. Kavya here as a software. Okay, 3 years back break. Explore various other fields than my tech background. Okay, lots of them. Okay, so I think, the idea was to get you engaged. So maybe, because we are also running out of time, so I might not be able to read everything. But yeah, I mean, it's a good exercise. And for today, what I will suggest you to do is, so a couple of exercises. One is, of course, you have done that already, the on-spot introduction. So think about this, try to refine that and come up with a one-line catchy bio of yours, especially if you are thinking about, content creation and putting up your own channel. Okay. Second thing is you have your jobs for her in her key profile, right? Her key profile is where you can do some edits. Now, what you can do is while introducing yourself in the, in the you can highlight your content creation background also in that same profile, right? And try to highlight that in the bios wherever you have the social media profile, whether it's in the Instagram, on Facebook, and all. Try to come up with one catchy line. I don't mind you using an AI tool for that purpose. That is also totally okay for me. But it's just that it should be something which should be relatable for you. Okay. And you should be able to stand out from the other profiles. Okay. Any other?
Vivek, I have a question.
Yeah, please. So in fact, I was
What?
about to say that, the floor is open for questions and answers.
Okay. So I'm on bang on right time. Okay. So my question is, what about LinkedIn post and content? Because I have been posting certain contents with regards to my profile into HR
Uh-huh.
and operations.
Right.
So can I add that into the into my bio?
Yeah, definitely. In fact, I missed out on that part probably because, we are too focused on Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook of the world. But just give me a reminder in the next session. I'll probably talk a little more about the LinkedIn also. Okay.
Okay.
And and see, depending upon your profile, like you mentioned that, you're from an HR background, right? So LinkedIn is a very, very important platform for you. So when you're thinking about the content creation, so you should probably use LinkedIn as a primary platform and look at the aspects of LinkedIn, what kind of content normally people publish or read over there or engage with. For example, if you remember, I told you that how you need to maybe cut down on the text part in the Facebook and the Instagram, probably keeping it very short and confined, coming up with more one-liners kind of thing, right? But in contrary to that, because LinkedIn is something which is meant for the professionals and the business owners, right? So a lot of people prefer to read some insightful things and interesting reads over there. So anything, which is like a short, I won't say call that as a microblogging. In fact, microblogging is different, but maybe something which is a longer post, but more of a shorter version of the blog. So that works really well with the LinkedIn. Okay. And the second thing is these days, LinkedIn also promotes a lot of visual content. So you will find that lots of carousel post, which is having multiple slides, more like a, presentation mode kind of thing that you can keep sliding from left to right and so on. So that kind of content does really well. Apart from the other content, like it also promotes lots of audio content, by the way, if you're aware of this. Okay. So audio content is becoming very popular on LinkedIn. People can do an audio meet for that matter. So I think someone was asking me about if I'm not able to face the camera, if I'm not comfortable in front of the camera. So you don't need to worry about those things. Okay. People want to read your content. They can read your slides. They can read the post. They can even attend your audio meet for that matter. So LinkedIn has provided that kind of feature along with the live videos and other online events. Okay, so all those kind of things are important. Sorry, I lost a track. So what was your exact question? I
My
think.
question was in my bio because I'm been
Mhm.
posting certain contents related to just knowledge transfer, that what is HR and what are the
Right,
other perspectives of HR, what you have to do in HR, interview skills
right,
and other
right.
stuffs. So can I mention in my bio about LinkedIn, because I am not much
Mm-hmm.
into the content writing like Insta or Facebook or something,
Mm-hmm.
but I am more into sharing my knowledge and getting people's inputs or insights, and then engaging through them
Okay.
via LinkedIn.
So this is which bio you're talking about? You're talking about the Instagram bio, basically?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that. In fact, even in my Instagram bio, what I've done is I normally use this, so there's a tool called as Linktree, by the way. Okay. So anyways, I'll be talking about these things in the next session, but you can use that. So, and there are a lot of other tools, very similar tools. So what it does is Linktree allows you to create a bio link for yourself. And once you create a link, right, so it will show something like this. Okay, you can see, and there are multiple links that can be put over here. So one could be your LinkedIn profile, one could be your Facebook, one could be your blog, or whatever links you want to share. So one link can connect with multiple links. So ideally, you'll put this link in your social media bio, and then this can replace with multiple things in this card, format that you're seeing on the right hand side. Okay.
Okay, got it. So
So this
one
way,
link is attached to multiple
multiple links.
platforms. Yeah.
Yeah, multiple platforms. So in that way, like you can promote not only your LinkedIn profile, but let's say you can have your appointment link. So if someone wants to conduct a meeting with you, you have a Calendly or similar other kind of tool that you're using for planning your schedule, right? So you can put that kind of link also. So that essentially becomes a call to action. Okay, right? And a lot of people do that, so it's not something very surprising or new. Uh, so, for example, even I'm not very active on Instagram, but I have to do that because I have to research content, I have to develop the content for my ads and for my client campaigns, right? But otherwise, what I've done is like I've shared my, TopMate. So there's a platform called as TopMate. So I'm active over there. So what I do is I put my TopMate link in my bio in the Instagram. So I keep getting a lot of meeting requests from there also. So TopMate is for basically for the professionals like you and me who want to have their own page. Like I'll just show you something. So this is my link, TopMate slash Vivek Kumar 22. So if you go to this link, so you'll find, all these options to connect with me. And there's a different kind of consultation that I do for different clients. They want to have some meetings with me, right? So even if, there's a free slot that I offer to a lot of people in, so if you want to reach out, you can probably reach out to me through this free slots of 15 minutes of, video meeting where I can guide you about the career and everything, right? And there's some paid consultation also that I do. So this is the link that I keep promoting. So if you see, my LinkedIn profile also has the same link. Okay. So if you click on this book an appointment with me on my LinkedIn profile, so it will take you to this particular page. And same goes with my Instagram. So even in the Instagram, what I've done is so this is my calendar link basically in Instagram. But if you can replace this with a bio link in case if you want to promote multiple links, right?
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So any other questions, by the way? And I'm just sharing my LinkedIn profile in case if you want to connect with me. Anyways, I'm going to be your trainer for the next 2-3 sessions. And this is also one of the links that I can share with you in case if you want to have one-to-one contact with me also for career or any business related queries also. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm audible. Actually, I just wanted to know that which website is best for selling the digital products and like how frequency we should post.
selling digital products. What kind of digital products are we talking about?
Many of people look for post and carousels and then logos, such kind of a products.
Sorry, I didn't get your name. Your name is?
Misbah.
Misbah, yeah. So Misbah, first thing, content, when you talk about digital products, so obviously you would need a platform, okay? As in the platform to sell these products. It could be something like a Razorpay also, like Razorpay is a payment gateway, by the way. So it also allows you to host your content and you can promote that product and get paid for that, okay? So that you don't have to worry about the payment part for that. Likewise, there's Gumroad is very popular, and there's something called as ThinkFix. I can share, all these things probably in the next session. Okay. The important point is one platform is required for the managing and selling the digital products. What I mean is it's a tool and platform to manage your digital product. Okay. The second platform that you're talking about is something which becomes your primary channel for the promotion of this. Okay. So now this is something that will also depend upon your audience. Like what I can understand in what you're talking about is your audience could be a small business, right? And they might not be able to hire a graphic designer. But if you tell them, okay, I have 20 social media posts for fashion industry, and you can utilize them for your social media handle, and you pay me, let's say, 5,000 rupees for that, right? So it's like a ready to use kind of post that you're selling to them. I'm just taking an example. So now you need to find that audience. So whether this audience is going to be the Instagram, most likely yes, Instagram and Facebook are good channels for them. But if you start promoting it organically, maybe initially you will find it very difficult to promote it organically because you might not have a very good number of followers for that matter, right? So you need to start finding more channels. So now in the Facebook, you will find lots of groups where people are part of that group. That could be related to business, that could be related to, let's say, a city and so on. So again, you can try reaching out to people in that group. Or alternatively, what you can do is you can start connecting, searching for the profiles and the businesses, and you can drop them a DM and connect with them. So these are some of the organic methods, right, which you can implement. Besides that, you can even run a paid ad campaign and then reach out to the exact audience that you're looking for, okay, on any of these platforms. So it could be LinkedIn or Facebook also. It could be Instagram also. Any other question, by the way? And I hope I answered your question, Ms. Ba.
Yes. Just one thing is Pinterest is like one of the good option for posting.
See, again, depends. If you're only looking for views, reach, and engagement, maybe Instagram and Facebook are better platform for you. But if you're looking to drive more traffic, okay, and a very niche kind of audience, then maybe Pinterest. And it also depends upon your time, availability, bandwidth, etc. So if you have time, I think Pinterest would not be a bad example if you do it along with your Instagram and all. Okay, so I think there are two things that you need to do. One is create your own bio link, and of course, with a bio, a very short bio, and then update your profile on the Herky. Try to integrate all the things related to content creation so that it's not just your professional summary, but it also highlights the content creation part of yours. Okay. Right? And in the next class, we are going to look into how to create these kind of content exactly with the help of ideation, tools, everything. Okay. So that will be it from my end. I think it has been a long session for everyone. So let's take a break now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vivek. And thanks to everyone who has stayed till the end of the session. I would really want to, thank those all. And I'm sure you have learned a lot, many new things. Because definitely there were a few tips which we definitely were not aware of. So thank you, Vivek. And next session to continue the insightful content, we will be having on 21st with Vivek.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So
try to be
that is going
available,
to,
please.
yeah, sorry. I was just trying to say that is going to be more action-driven kind of session. So today I was giving you a glimpse about everything. Now that you are a little familiar about everything, so now you will actually see how to create that content in the next session.
Right. Thanks, Vivek. We would, we'll be looking forward to have that session, and we are happy that these women will be learning a lot more. Thank you very
All
much, and we'll take your leave now.
Thank you.
And
Thanks,
see you again
everyone.
on 21st.
Yeah, see you. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Take care.